straight back.
I got the pictures. Hey, but no, I want to make sure they didn't miss out on this treason that we had yesterday. But go ahead, the Nia Long story, because I took a lot
No,
of.
definitely. I mean, as black men, that's a black head coach, man, taking a lot of scrutiny right now. As you know, the season he came off of last year, he did some phenomenal things with those guys, leading them to the last run. He didn't get the championship, but he got right there, right? And then all of a sudden, now this controversy, and we're talking about this because I definitely want to understand what makes this situation different. And I want to go around the horn because you guys are in the sports. And what was your take on that? The way how it was publicized, and what was your overall feel on that? How do you think that? Talk to me about it, Chris. How did that make you feel?
Okay, well, check this out. Fun fact: Ime Udoke, for his whole career, he averaged 5.2 points. That's career. Goddamn shame that boy could just learn how to score. But what I want to do is, I feel like as a person who is the goddamn, I would say, a member of the Cheating Hall of Fame, I'm not going to try to bring this brother down. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. What I will do is hold him accountable. This guy fucked up. This guy truly dropped the bag. He fumbled the bag completely. I'm going to hold him accountable for what he did. They make fraternization rules in corporate jobs for a reason of the subordinate. You never know if the superior and the subordinate relationship is authentic because the subordinate could be in this relationship to save their job, their livelihood, or whatever. So I understand why they have fraternization rules. I totally get that. The part that I don't understand is there's two people involved in fraternization. There's two people. I don't have a problem with the Boston Celtics making this public simply because you don't want to. The season is right around the corner, and you don't want to have your players answering these questions back to back. You just don't want that. So I don't mind them making it public, but two people was involved, and why don't we hear the names of the woman that was involved in this affair? This was a consensual affair. This wasn't a situation where they was being forced. This was a consensual affair. This man's life is being ripped apart in front of the media, and we're protecting, like they say we don't do. We are protecting a woman, and that's the only part I personally disagree with, because the rules are for everybody, not for the superiors, for everybody. Everybody know going in, fraternization is wrong. But again, this is how we protect women, and I also feel that way with the Nia Long thing. We're giving her so much like compassion when I don't understand it. This woman basically been holding this man hostage since 2015. This man has been engaged to this woman since 2015. This woman is a serial baby daddy. The first guy she got she got with, she didn't want to marry him. The second guy, and now she with Udoke, married, don't want to marry him, and got a baby. She's a serial baby daddy. And I understand this. I have no idea. I personally have no idea how Ime Udoke feel about marriage, but I know how Nia Long feels about it, and I should tell you.
Her baby's father, Udoke, got engaged, but the famous couple has yet to tie the knot. The actress recently spoke about why she has never been married and discussed her aversion to jumping the broom. Love is complicated, so let's just start there, Nia reportedly said. And then you start a marriage, which I've never been married, and there's a reason for that, because I don't know that I need to say I do to prove to you that I love you. But also, what does marriage really mean? That you own me now and I own you? I don't get that part. I understand the religious aspect of marriage. That is beautiful and it's fantastical and it's dreamy and it's every girl's fantasy to have that moment. Long continued, but I don't know that I need to feel like that I'm in a partnership that's working. Years ago, rumors circulated that she and I'm secret wed, but Nia quickly responded that marriage isn't a priority for her and that everyone in her family is happy. In other news, now comes Nia Long.
This is how she feel about marriage. She's been holding that man. She's been stringing that man along for the longest. So God forbid that man go out and try to find better when he's been held hostage for since 2015. Remember here, fellas, a man, the only victim here is that man that got cheated on. The man that was married to that woman and she had an affair with that man. That's the victim here. And nobody making it clear that the man is the victim. And that's just what I think.
I would like to introduce myself. I'm going to be representing on behalf of Man Law. I'm going to represent the Boston Celtics head coach. There are some things that need to be addressed, and here will be my point of argument for rebuttal. Ime is Nigerian. Who are we to question his culture? In Nigeria, in Africa, we are kings. Men are known to have polygamy relationships. They're known to have more than one wife. It really works outside of Western civilization. Second of all, I got in trouble. I even got some hate mail over at Man Law headquarters because I said, no shade. Hell, how do we know Nia Long is so spectacular? All right. We have this fantasy love affair with Nia Long because of her movie roles, and she is a beauty. But do we know anything about Nia Long outside of that? Okay. So the question here is, we don't know Nia, so this makes a lot of bias come into play with this situation. All right. He's the victim. Let me tell you something here. Outside, and I really want to highlight that micromanagement, you have so many people in those front offices now, they'll do anything to shave a couple dollars. You got a successful head coach who was caught in a consensual relationship with two married employees, right? And one of those husbands is who brought this to the front office of the Boston Celtics, who felt that in damage control, we're going to suspend him for a whole year, which does clear up a lot of goddamn money on the payroll. But then again, the NBA did not touch this. This is a Boston Celtics issue. And I will say that this is an interracial connection as well. So I'm always going to play my race card on that as well. But it's two staffers. And I just question how the Celtics shielded those two people who were in a consensual entanglement. Well, we're bringing it back. Entanglement, consensual entanglement. How are they being shielded? But you blasted this. And the thing that I do feel sorry for Nia with is this. If you didn't know, if Nia probably found out about this behind the scenes, who's to say how she would handle this? But now that this has been put out into the public, she's feeling embarrassed. She feels ambushed. See, it's different when you get cheated on privately. But publicly, oh, this hurts my image. This hurts my brand. This may affect my ability to earn money. But then again, no, drama sells. So she might be in the next few 3 movies. So I beg to differ that I is a victim in this hypocrisy that we call the United States media and the Boston Celtics, who I've always felt to be racist. That is my closing argument. Thank you.
Well, ASAP to the Mason. He made some great points, and I like that. I'm gonna touch bases on some of those key points that you made. Horace, I mean, something about that, Mr. Mario, because you are the other sports fanatic. What you have? Come to the stage.
I think I'm gonna come from a different perspective. A little bit off of what Chris said about the other guy, right? So I was looking here and I hear everybody on every platform attack it from, just like we always knew. All the women platforms, he's the devil, he's the devil's first son because he cheated on Nia. And all the men platform, why they were 50-50? Because there was some niggas caping for Nia too. But then there was some dudes who was, you messed up the bag. And I understand that point because you work so hard. But then I got to look at from the other guy, right? So then I heard like Stephen A. and so many other people were so mad at the Celtics, right? So I heard the owner get up and speak. He said it was a gut reaction. I suspended him for a year. Then I heard Brad Stevens speak, who Ime Udoke just took his job, right? Speak and say, I'm just upset that he let the women of our franchise be dragged through the mud, right? So then I said, well, man, I fuck with them. And people around me were like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, hey, if Tudor was married, and the guy that worked for us cheated with his wife, and I was in a position to embarrass the hell out of him and give him every punishment I could as my dog, that's what I would do." And then I'm pretty sure Zay and Chris would come up right behind me and rebuttal the same injection I just gave him and make them look like the world. That's a good old boys club. And one thing you forgot, Ime Udoke, is that no matter how far you climb that ladder, no matter how far, you are still, in Kanye's words, Jay-Z, still a nigga. And understand, the worst thing you can do is take the prized possession, a beautiful black princess, beautiful white princess. And that's what you did. So now when they're in the cigar room and they're smoking cigars and they sitting back, and it wasn't only about Eric, who the vice president of options. It was Eric represents all of us. If we don't stop this 6'9", all the black women love him. Now the white women love him. Coach of the year. Then he would set a president, and all these coaches and all these players will think they can just come in here and screw our wives. We must make an example out of him, and that's just what they did to your black ass. And the only reason why I'm not upset with them doing it to your black ass is because when I was a little boy, my mama told me to watch out about this. My uncle told me to watch out about this. I'm older than him. All my life, I've been heard to watch out about this. He fought through so many rights. Like Chris said, he was a sorry-ass basketball player. He played overseas and everywhere. He was a great coach, though. He coached up under Pop, who was one of the most forward-thinking coaches of our dynasty, and put him on a pedestal. Pop talked about him like it was the next coming of his son. And then he finally got the job. And everybody, even if you hate the Boston Celtics, was so happy that a black man was doing wrong. And what did you do? Selfish, because I'm not, I like Shaq said, I'm no party to cast stones at you, because I stay in a glass home myself. Even though it's just been recently remodeled. I stayed in a glass home for years. So I'm not here to throw stones. But I am here to say, this is an example. If anybody take this from you, it's understanding you are never away. I heard what's his name play for Duke, Jason, who be on Stephen A. Jason Williams say, I always understand it's a fight. Every day I get up, I can't relax. I never can do what other people do. I have continuously have to understand I'm walking on a thin line, and one misstep can take down generations in my family. And Ime, all the way back in Africa, it's a motherfucker looking at that screen saying, this nigga. And you did it again. And you did it again. And you did it again. And I'm ashamed of you. I don't feel sorry. I'm ashamed. Because I understand too how it is hard to turn down women. It is bad that you was dating and only seeing your wife for 3 years. It is upsetting that that Nia wouldn't marry you. But you're a millionaire. You 6'9". You have a whole head of hair and women love you. Grow some balls and do what the men do. Take control of your life and don't fall victim to your emotions. So that's what I say. I just say, I looked at that boy, I looked at them men get up there and take up for their homeboy, and I said, I'm proud of them. Because I would have did the damn same thing if that had been my homeboy. Fired his for a year for no reason and didn't give a damn if I ain't have a reason. I'm going to get all the way to the press conference and say, I ain't got no reason. It was in my heart, so I gave his ass a year. And after a year, if I'm still mad, I'll fire him. And after a year, if I'm not mad, I might hire him back. But it's up to me, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That's bro, what you just went to Charleston White route.
Hey. But the crazy part about everything that he said, and all of you guys, that's what's been going around for the whole weekend. Well, why they just didn't fire him? Because he was made to be a public spectacle. Because again, he made a fool of them. He took their prized possession. Like Mario says, since we were kids, we were taught you don't mess around with no white girls. You will die or you will go to jail. Where you playing?
Ain't nobody
and you playing with your boss. You're playing with your boss's wife. So that's crazy. But this is the thing. Chris, you said something important. Horace, you said something important. It was consensual. They're adults. Regardless, the only people that should be and are offended are the married people. But this is what happens. Both him and Nia are collateral damage. They don't care about them, like Hardy said. Yes, she got blindsided. And yes, her business was put out there, right? But why? It was to embarrass him and make him feel the way that they felt. And like Hardy said, they suspended him for a year. It's to tap your pockets. But who's to say once he gets done in a year, they just, all right, fire him? Because they can do that.
He can't be hired again. No, he can't be hired again. You can't bring that man into your organization knowing that you got to hide your kids, hide your wife. You can't do
said
that.
Fired.
What I'm saying,
at the end of the year, after they make the example out of him, fired. But that's what led me to lead with what I said. Dang, he getting beat up really, really bad right now. He's still a black man at the end of the day, and he made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? How does he feel? How do all of us feel looking at that? Because we look at that and we look at him as a leader, someone who's doing groundbreaking things as a black man, and then you messed up. So all your hard work and all the good things that was said about you get diminished, right?